And we are starting our first live stream. Thank you all guys for coming to this stream and supporting us by just, being here. I'm very excited and a little bit scared because never did anything like this before. First live stream on YouTube. I hope you guys enjoy it. So let me introduce myself. My name is Alexey Kaspersky. I'm an artist who all his life dreamed to have a dragon. And here we have a Tamerlan, who is albino super crimson iguana. You probably know him from Instagram. He is kind of a reptile celebrity who has hundreds of thousands of followers. And that's Dragon and me. Again, thank you guys for coming. Hello everyone. Hello. Thank you for coming. I have a chat here. So let me tell you a little bit about how it will go, how I see this live streams and Dragon and Me TV originally. I want to answer your questions because there are a lot of questions asked online in private messages, important questions. Also, I want to review some videos together with you, because sometimes I'm just, watching YouTube, watching different stuff, and here and there I agree or disagree, and this is probably a good idea to give my opinion on the stream about certain things. And this comes to another question: what is this stream will be about? Mainly, of course, it will be about reptiles. It's going to be about dragons, and also because I'm an artist, artistic soul, right? It also will be about the art, about modern art, about artificial intelligence, about movies, cinema, about special effects, about post-production in television and shows. So this is something that I'm doing full-time as my main job, and this is something that I feel confident talking about and sharing with you, if you're interested, of course. Now the question why I decided to start this. Thank you very much. I'll tell him, he's right here, sleeping. Yeah, so why I decided to have this live stream is because first, I'm receiving a lot of messages on all our social platforms, and it's impossible to give the feedback, to give the answers. It will really answer the question, but not some, here's a couple of words and go away. No, I want to answer the questions that you're asking and kind of save those videos and be able to share with people later. This is first. And second, I think many of you already know that I am working on the short film about Dragon and me. And it's been already for a couple of years in production. And right now we came to the point where mostly all CGI work is done. Yes, Tamerlan agrees with me. So most of the CGI work is done. We have the Dragon model ready. We have it rigged. We have it ready for filming. We also worked on the environment, about a virtual location where all this action will happen. By the way, this wonderful background that you see here on the stream, it's a part of this island where this short film action will happen. As you can see, there's only a small part of it. It's all 3D graphics. And if you look attentively, even the planets that you see there on the background, they're rotating. And the moon is rotating and the water is acting. And also, if you will stay long enough on this stream, you'll be able to see that the sun is going up and down. And it's just a beautiful piece of, environment that I decided to share with you. Yeah, he agreed. The part of environment that I would like to share with you. Also, taking this opportunity, I would like to show you the stage where we are at currently with our short film production. So let me share some still style shots. I will start with sharing the Dragon model, right? Let me turn on the screen. Okay, here we go. And I'll start with the model. So this is how it's all started. We started creating Tom's 3D model from this base shape, and it took around 10 months for me. Hello guys. Most lizards are mutant colors to blend in. Why this one is so bright? This one is albino super crimson morph. They are not usually happen to be in nature. It's artificially selected breed, and his color is because of an albinism. For sure, he wouldn't be able to survive in the wild nature with this color, because he is like a perfect target for predators, So yeah, so this, back to the Dragon, this is our original model that we created, and this is kind of how we move forward with modeling it, slowly but steady going forward and creating all those scales, one by one, improving it. And it was tremendous. It was a huge work done here to reach to the point where this model was finally ready. This is the eye in details, you see. And there is a lot of technical things that coming into this process. I don't want to stop on them right now. Just so you know what we are doing in terms of our like a short preparation for the short film. And now here we are on the point where this model is ready. This one is with all textures and everything. This is Dragon in different environments. You see, I'm kind of testing different lights on the model. And basically, what I'm trying to say that right now we are on the stage in the production where we need additional budgeting. We cannot keep running, keep moving with our production without finding a sponsor or without having certain budget for to produce the short film. So the decision to start this live streams, to start this streaming, came from the need to to make more acknowledgement in the society and among people who are interested. So hopefully we will be able to find a sponsor for our project. And also, of course, for me personally, I would like to improve my English, because English is not my first language. I came from Ukraine 10 years ago. I was invited as an artist, as a medical illustrator, and with your help, please feel free to comment in chat. Please feel free to fix my language, say that this should be said this way or another way. I will be happy to learn from you. This is another reason why I decided, to move forward to my fairs, but not to run away from them, and try to speak with people, with native English speakers, to improve my English. So this is the second reason. The third reason. Okay, so let's answer some questions, right? Because I prepared here some screenshots. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm trying. I was invited to United States as an artist in the medical industry, in the medical field. And that time my English was like this far, very, very little knowledge, right? And so I want to tell you the story how it all happened. I was mostly working in the fantasy and TV and TV series industry, where I was preparing the models for basically for movies and TV, and most of those models were fantasy style. And then one day I was sitting and working on one of my works, and my wife came to me and said, "Listen, I saw there is the competition online where you have to create the space vessel, spaceship, and the prizes are good, and like, why don't you take part?" And I said, "You know that I work only with organic stuff. I don't do any metal, mechanical, 3D objects. I don't know how they work. I don't have enough knowledge to produce them." And she said, "Well, why don't you create this spaceship alive? Make it organic." And I was like, "Wait a minute. It's a great idea." So I created that spaceship, and it took the first place on that contest. It's amazing. Like, I created something that I wasn't even aware that I can possibly create, even in my dreams, And this, let me show you. Okay, why not? Let me show you this image. 1 second, I need to find it. One second, guys. I should prepare this. Here we go. This one. So this artwork that I created, kind of organic looking spaceship, literally brought me to America, because one day I was sitting and working, and I received an email, and in that email it was like, would you like to move to New York? And that's it. Like, one email, and I was like, of course, I'm ready. So it was 2013, and that's how I made my way into this country and made my way into the medical animation and illustration, where I'm working right now. So right now my job is to educate people in terms of their diseases, in terms of how their body works, how different drugs work in their body. And usually what we do, our studio is doing is let's say it's a drug company, and they are working on a new drug. And before they go all that approval process, FDA, etc., they have to be able to present, to explain how this new drug works and how it helps people in a new way to feel better, right? So they come to us and they say, okay, this is the concept, this is our drug, this is how it works, help us tell the story, visual representation of, you know, how everything should be. And my job as a creative director is to help the client to tell that story, to deliver the message that they want, to show how this drug will act in their body. And this is one of the examples, one of many that we're working on. I guess it's too much about art, right? Are you guys tired, or should I move forward with some other topic? Let me know. No, all good. Okay, so that's what I'm doing for living. And now, remembering how I started, how I got in the field, it was always fantasy and magic and something surreal, and that's what brought me to the idea of having a dragon, about having a Tamerlan as a pet. And yeah, this is how we live and work together. I have a dream to create this short film about the dragon and me, about this wonderful connection that can come from, you know, what I want to avoid is to make too much special effects, and I want to avoid making too much of fairy tale. I want this short film to be as realistic as possible and as believable as possible, because by the way, thank you very much for support in chat. I really appreciate. This is our first live stream. I'm so excited, and you know, it's great to see people there. Thank you very much, guys. So yeah, so I want this short film to be as close and believable as possible. That's, by the way, one of the reasons why I decided not to create this dragon in more of a Game of Thrones way, where they have 2 wings and 2 legs, and they're believable, of course, but I wanted to connect, in my case, I wanted to connect this dragon shape and form to more realistic and knowable animal like iguana, like I have. So later in post-production, I will be able to combine this living creature with 2 legs, 2 arms. I will be able to merge him with the CGI dragon perfectly, like, to make a perfect match. So that's my goal, to make this short film where CGI will be almost not visible, but it will be there. That's my goal. So enough about this stuff. I hope you all enjoyed the story. And let's answer some questions that I have from community. Let me turn on the screen again. By the way, how is the sound? How is everything? How's the quality of the stream? Everything is good? Because I've watched a lot of videos about live streaming. Perfect, thank you. And all of them, literally all of them, are saying that you know, the first live stream is always a tragedy and always a fail. You never know from where it will come, this fail. I hope everything works right now and we are good to move forward. Yeah. Okay, so here I have a number of questions from the community, and let's go through them. I love your page so much, thank you. That looks like a coolest iguana in the world. Must be because he feels your love for him. He's just gorgeous. I want one so much. They look like they really show you love. Are they really aggressive, and can they hurt you? Looks like a love bug. He is definitely a love bug. He is definitely the sweetest guy you can ever meet. But he is able to hurt you. One time, thank you, hello to Germany as well. One time he hurt me really bad, and this was the only time he beat me. and he almost cut my finger, like on two halves. Only the bone stopped his teeth. It's insane. So this is how it happened. In 2019, we were invited to the New York fashion show Runaway as a guest animal friend, and it's another story. Probably I'll tell it sometime later, but we were invited there, and them had to be on the shoulder of this model that wearing this wonderful orange dress, and she had to walk around the building, and all the cameras there, all the press and everyone was there, and we arrived early in the morning. And my best guess is that Tamerlan was already tired from the road, because it was a long ride from home to New York. It was around probably an hour and a half of drive. And he was really tired. Also, this show happened in the evening. And when I gave Tamerlan to the model so she can put him on the shoulder and go this through the runway and make a photos for all the magazines like Vogue, all other like, you know, this cool fashion magazines. And on the halfway, he just decided to jump off. Fuck this, I don't want to mess with this fashion show, I just want to go home. Bring me home. And that's it. She couldn't, of course, she couldn't be able to hold him or prevent this running somehow. Because, as you know, if Iguana wants something, Iguana just doing this without caring about anything else. So this is another story, but what I'm trying to say here is that Tamerlan was really stressed during this trip, during this event. After that, I decided not to stress him anymore on this level. I don't want it for the animal. Yeah, so the important thing that he was carried in the bag for animals. You know, the special carriage bags where you carry your animal to the vet or to some convention, etc. This bag has holes and everything, as it's supposed to be for comfortable carrying your pets around. And my guess is that he remembered the smell of this bag, or the look of this bag, or I don't know. And this is insane. In a year after that, it was 2020 or 21, I don't remember. So it was like a year after this convention in New York on fashion show. I had to bring him to the vet for the surgery. He had to undergo the surgery on his tail because it was some lesion that we had to remove. And I take out this bag that I wasn't using for a year, and I put it on the floor. And then this boy here, somehow he remembered, I don't know. Yeah, thank you for coming. Enjoy your breakfast. So he remembered somehow the look or smell of this bag, and when I took him and carried towards this bag, he was so scared and so aggressive that he bit me. It was the one and only time that he actually hurt me. He just remembered these negative emotions that he had during the first travel to New York, and he thought that I'm trying to make this negative experience for him again. And this is his way of protecting himself, you know. It's not like he was aggressive to me as a personality. It was more like, no, I don't want to go there. I just don't want to go there. And he beat me, and my fault, because there is also my fault, because I wasn't ready for this, and we were in a rush because we had an appointment, right? We have a time that we have to come there, and it's a long drive. And I was kind of in a rush, and I wasn't able to read the body language of the reptile, because, you know, body language of the reptile can tell you almost everything you need to know about their mood, about what they want, about what they don't want. Just by how they behave, you can see all those signs, and I wasn't able to see this, and that's how I paid for this mistake. But yeah, they can be really aggressive, and they can hurt you intentionally or not intentionally. Even Tamin, even this sweetest boy, he hurt me one time, which is, I consider, my fault. Okay, let's move forward. Yeah, exactly. It's amazing. He got a trauma, and a lot of people coming saying, you know, the reptiles are stupid, right? Which I can agree on some level. Of course, they are not as clever as we are, or cats or dogs, but they are clever enough to understand certain things, to recognize the owners, to be potty trained, and to have a trauma, like you said here in chat, to have a trauma for 1 year long. It's amazing. It's just, he has such a small head, and most of that head is a jaw and eyes. Like, there is so little space for brain, and still somehow in that brain there is a place to keep the memories from a year ago. It's insane. Okay, let's move forward. What are those round things on his jawline? Sand glands. No, they serve this balls here. They serve two purposes. First purpose is when iguana having a breeding season, especially it's a male iguana, they almost stop eating. By their nature, all they do is they're just running, exploring, protecting their territory, and hunting for a girl, you know, for a date, looking for a date, and they just have no time for eating, for food. And in these things, like a camel, he saves the necessary proteins, necessary food stuff that he can survive for a long period without having regular meals. So that's the first purpose. The second purpose, if you look closer on iguana from the side, you can see that this thing here, it has one distinguished circular thing here. It's huge. So like other many animals, creating the protective coloring and protective textures on their body, iguanas have this thing to distract the predator from attacking to the eye, because for iguana not having an eye, it's the same as be dead. You know, it's very important for iguanas to have a good sight. So by having this huge thing here and have it circular black coloring, they can trick the predator to hit them not in the eye but in this thing, because as you know, predators always trying to hurt when they're hunting. They're always trying to hurt most sensitive parts of the body of their prey to make it stop them from running or something. So this way iguana tricks the predator. So he is not hitting to the eye, he is hitting to this thing that looks like an eye. The same way like some butterflies have the circles on their wings, where sometimes those wings, when they're opened, they look like a owl or snake or some other animals that are obviously more dangerous than the butterfly itself. But by having that camouflage, they protect themselves. So this is the answer. Yes, okay, let's go to the next one. Thank you guys for all your kind words. It really motivates. And thank you for staying on the stream. I'm so happy. Like, I've watched the videos and people saying that your first stream, you will speak to 0 people or to 1-2 people. And here I have 13 people. It's amazing. Thank you guys for coming and staying on the stream. Thank you for your words. Okay. Let's move forward. This is a good question. So one person here is basically saying that iguanas are invasive species, and another wonderful person is asking my opinion, what I think about iguanas as a as an invasive species. It's a complex topic, and I haven't replied to that message because I wanted to speak specifically about this on the stream or to make some video about it, because it's important and very complex thing to think about. So we have a number of sides of this problem. The first side of this problem is, yes, I admit, and like probably everyone admits, that iguanas are invasive species in Florida and they are not native. And yes, they are destroying property. They're destroying plants. They're clogging the drainage system in the city. They can do a lot of bad stuff. Another side of this problem is irresponsible owners of animals who someday just decide to try to have an iguana, and then without a second thought, after they see their nature, aggressive and not easy nature, they're just letting them go in the wild. And while in other states where the nature is colder, it's fine because they are dying outside because they cannot survive the cold weather. In the case of Florida, it's like perfect place for them to live. And right now it raised to the point where it's a problem for the whole state. So first of all, I want to blame the people, irresponsible people. All those killings of iguanas that you see on YouTube, people hunting them, people being cruel to them, and all those unnecessary deaths of these poor animals is on your hands. I want to stress this. If when you're taking the animal at home, you have to be responsible and you have to have a knowledge. What are you doing? Why are you doing? It's like, for me, it's like before you can drive, you have to learn to drive and you have to have a license. So the state allows you to drive. I'm not saying that having the pet, any pet, it's the same thing. It have to be the same thing, like you have to have a pet license, no. But I believe that there should be some kind of check before selling the animal as a pet to the person. There should be some background check and there should be some knowledge check, because I'm receiving a lot of messages where people first decide to have this animal at home and they buy it, and then they write, oh, you know, I don't know what should I do with this animal, can you please help me? These people just make me sick. How can you be so irresponsible? How can you... This is not a toy. This is a living being that wants to enjoy its life, that wants to enjoy its existence. And iguana is not an easy pet to keep. Like, we will speak about this a little bit later, but I blame this problem in Florida, first of all, on people who first having the pets and then letting them go in the wild. I cannot understand. I don't see any forgiveness to those people. Those have to be blamed in the first place. There is another problem where state allows the state of Florida put iguanas and some other exotic reptiles as outlaws, and they allow them to be killed just on the street as you know. There should be a program, like I think there should be a state program where this all done by us, people with the knowledge and people with the understanding of why these animals have to be removed from the environment and how this should be done in most gentle and humane way. Not like it's happening right now, where there are people, brain dead, sick people with arrows and shotguns just killing those poor animals, and most of the times it's not in a humane way. I cannot see those videos, like, just insane. You know, it's like when we people are, we are monkeys. We are not far from monkeys. This cruelty that sits in us, it just have to find the, it should be just allowed us to. State of Florida says, okay, this is invasive species. And what those people understand, okay, now I can go and kill them and do whatever I want and be a kind of a hunter and do good stuff. No, you're, by being cruel and by making animals suffer, you're not doing anyone any good. So that's my opinion on the problem. Someone can disagree, but that's what I think. Let me read the chat a little bit. My iguana is my best friend. The connection you get with... Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, iguanas can be the best friends. Thank you for sharing knowledge. Yes, thank you. Trying to do my best. They don't think about it in the long run. I agree. I'm afraid, first, I'm afraid how those animals are being killed. Second, I'm afraid about the anger and this cruelty that comes out of people who are doing this, and the way that they're doing this. This is scary sometimes, what they're doing with these poor animals and what they allowed to do. Yeah, so I guess I answered this question. Let's move forward. There's no easy solution. I admit that these animals are invasive, but I think regular people should not take care of this problem. It should be the state program where knowledgeable people doing their work. That's it. Yeah, horrible. Yes, the videos that you can see on YouTube are horrible. And what amazes me is that it's allowed. By YouTube, by Instagram, by state of Florida, you're just showing like animals are suffering. Why? Why? I don't want to see that. I don't want that to happen. You know? Okay, let's move forward. Okay. This is something that I deal from time to time. You see, receiving messages like this. Clearly, this person wants a piece of me for some reason. I don't know why, but this is what I get from time to time. And this is not the worst. I'm getting sometimes people just, I'm thinking how to say this without YouTube blocking the content. They just want to stop my physical existence for some reason. I don't know why. What makes them so angry? What makes them so... I think these people are just mentally sick. So yeah, let's pass this. Yeah, this is a perfect example here of what I was telling. So, can you help me? I want my iguanas to get big like yours. What do I do? Clearly, this person have an animal and not sure what is this animal, what is this about, to keep this animal. But this is not the worst case, you know, this is a normal person who are just asking questions. This is fine, but later there will be more. Oh, this is another conversation. So I made this, back to the short film point, I made the video where the dragon had wings and breathing fire, right? And the title for that video I made, haters gonna say it's fake, right? And below that I gave all the information about how I made that video, all the 3D programs I used, all the staff members that were involved in the production of this video. But somehow people still take it seriously. They don't understand that it's basically a joke, right? And they start being angry that I'm trying to say that the 3D video is actually, I'm trying to trick someone. This is insane. It's insane. This is a good one. Let's read chat. Yes, I don't know, maybe. Some people just hate my hair, long hair. Some people is just hate that in my videos on Instagram and YouTube I am just saying things that how like I'm speaking from my heart, you know, I'm not trying to hide anything behind the walls, or I'm just saying what I think, and not everyone likes that, especially when it comes to certain people and certain mistakes that those people are doing. So probably that. Guys, I will be right back. Give me 3 minutes, okay? And I'll be right back to you. And we are back. Thank you for staying. So, guys, what does artificially created morph mean? It's a good question. So basically, this animal, this iguana tamerlan, came from Tom Crutchfield reptile farm. And from what I've read on their social media is that it took them 20 years to breed that animal. I don't know that kind of animal. It's insane. And the work that they put in this, just to be able to enjoy this beauty of this animal is unbelievable. So I don't know all the details that go into the artificial breeding, but from my understanding, they take the certain species of animals from the, let's say there are 200 eggs, and those iguanas hatched. So they took 5 or 10 of them who are looking the certain way that they need, and they are separating them. Now the next generation, they took again 200 eggs, and again they pick the ones that they need, and this process just continues and continues and continues and continues. And that's how I think this process of creating certain morphs work. The same goes for dogs, the same goes for cats, the same goes for parrots, the same goes for fishes, especially fishes. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of different species of home fishes that people are keeping at home. And what is interesting, most of them, not most of them, but the huge amount of fishes that people are keeping at home are originally from this goldfish, but it was not, it's, I forgot its name. I know it on my language. Let me basically translate it. Why not? I should have translator ready for case like this. Carp, of course. So mostly all aquarium fishes, they originate from the regular carp, which is silver small fish, and they during the selective process they create different coloring for them, different the shape of the fins, the shape of the heads, the shape of the eyes, just by picking the ones that they want from the generations and combining them. They create this, you know, artificial, I would say, selective species. Let's see here. Let's see here where we are. Okay, this question. It doesn't sound good to me. Also, was he born blind and albino? And if you find him in some animal center, decide to adopt him, what's his story? So, as I said, I have him from a breeder, Tom Crutchfield. Yes, I admit there is an ethical question if it's good to have a morph of an iguana, especially with a blindness problem, or is it ethical to have this pet and to want to have this pet, or should... one second, there is... Can you guys hear me? It's showing me that... Yeah, I think the stream is still on, right? I hope so. So for me, I answered this question that if this is possible with dogs and people are fine with that, if this is fine with birds and parrots and fishes, why this is not good for lizards, for iguanas? And I think, in my case, I am giving the best possible care for this animal. Tamerlan having probably the best life iguana can ever have. And what is not ethical in this? I don't know. Also, a lot of stress comes to an animal just by, how to tell? Wild iguana being adopted and being kept at home, it may be very stressed just by seeing that environment and seeing those people who are around and being scared of them, and this way being stressed all the time. While in Tamerlan case, he cannot see well, and this lets him have much more settled and quiet and enjoyable life. I hope you are following what I'm trying to say. Like, his life is probably much better than many other iguanas who can see. So I don't really see any ethical problem here, but it's me. Like, this is something I cannot say for you or decide for you. You should have your own decision on this, but my answer is the following. Okay, this is some nonsense. Okay, this one is a good question. Are these like green ones, where if you feed them certain foods, their color will be more vibrant, or it's different for all the albinos? So basically, yes, you can enhance the color of iguana by giving certain foods, like let's say it's a bell pepper, red bell pepper, orange bell pepper, and you give it to your animal, and their color will be slightly enhanced. It's not gonna be any huge jump in coloration, you know, because the coloration in the animal comes from the pigment of the color that is in their skin, and you can affect that only a little bit by giving certain food. It's not like the animal will change their look completely if you give some food. By the way, I've received also, I don't have these messages here with me, but some insane person messaged me that I am injecting orange color into my iguana. You just listen to this nonsense, guys. I'm making orange color injections in the body of my iguana to make it orange, so I can make a content from it for my Instagram and earn money on this. Guys, this is probably the most insane nonsense that I ever heard. Like, there were a lot of nonsense people are telling me, but this one is like that. This is top. This is brilliant in my collection. People just don't think. Also, they think that you can earn some money on Instagram You cannot. We have currently over 300,000 followers, and you know what is my income on Instagram? Around $18 per month from the people who are sponsor subscribed to our channel and who are supporting our short film. Like there is a sponsor subscription button that you can click and then you subscribe. Instagram by itself does not give anything to creators. So I don't know where that thing that people are earning money on Instagram is coming from. I don't know. So this is answered. Let's move forward. Which is, about the potty training iguanas. It's very interesting because surprisingly, iguana, one of that animal that can be potty trained. And Tamerlan, when he is in a good mood, when he is feeling well and not stressed, and he doesn't have a breeding period, he always using his favorite spot to go to the restroom. This surprised me so much, that even if it's a clever bird, like let's say a parrot, he cannot do this, but iguana can. Iguana can remember his spot, iguana can go there and do his stuff. Yeah, Tamerlan agrees. You see, he hears that we are talking about him. Yeah? Tamerlan. So he knows his place. It's a really big surprise for me. I already speak about Tamerlan attacking me in our beginning of our stream. By the way, there will be a recording and you guys will be able to see this one more time if needed. Let's move forward. It's only said that he cannot see all the bright colors and the beautiful environment he's living in, the nice nature. Yeah, this is, I agree with you, but you see, it's a trade-off. I think that the thing that he is having this nice and calm life without being stressed means more for his health and means more for his well-being in future, more than being able to see the environment. That's my, my take on this point. But yes, I agree with you. Thank you very much for support of Ukraine. Thank you. I really appreciate you guys. The amount of people who are supporting my native country and who are donating for the needs of the Ukrainian people. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Tanya. So back to this thing. Okay, look what he's doing. Yeah, he's being territorial. You see, he's shaking his head to show that he is the boss in this room, in his cage, in the terrarium. From time to time, he just feels the need to shake his head and to show everyone who is the king. This is so funny. Okay, let's move forward. Okay, this is a good question. I recently put the video on our Instagram saying that I'm having problems and I'm a little bit tired of his behavior during the breeding period. And this is the person asking if he's not mating with another one, what exactly does he do that makes breeding season difficult? I see it's in the comments that he poops to mark his territory. Is that it? Yes. Yes, in a very large scale. So what happens is, let's say, let me make you some drawing. So imagine this is Tamerlan in regular life, okay? And this is Tamerlan during the breeding season. And this is another iguana during regular life and during breeding season, okay? This is Tamerlan's anger in regular life, the level. And this is Tamerlane's behavior when he's having a breeding season. He is just becoming completely another person, completely another creature, just a beast at home. And for a regular iguana, it's usually something like this, I would say. They are much more aggressive in usual life. And then during the breeding period, they kind of keeping that behavior, but it's not that high level. But because Tamerlane is so tame in regular life, the way how this behavior jumps during the breeding season is just makes me sick. So what happens is he's not only he's not trying to bite me, he's not trying to hurt me, he's not trying to hurt anyone in the house, he's not being territorial. This is no, but what he is doing, let's say he decided in his orange head that he wants to go to that window. He sees the light and he wants to go there. And he made this decision in his head, okay, I want to get to that window. For hours. For hours, he will just persistently keep trying to scratch through the doors, through the closings, through the anything you put on his way, just to make the decision happen, just to get to that window or something. And when he gets to that window, if I allow him, he gets mad and sick. Good morning. He gets excited as well, and now he wants to go over the window, right? He wants to go outside. So his behavior is just, I feel like when he having a breeding season, nothing can stop him. Like he just will keep scratching those doors for hours, for how much it will be needed, just to get to what he wants, what he thinks where the females are. And sometimes it may be very annoying. This is first thing, right? The second thing is sometimes there are like quiet days, but there are really bad days. Usually it's sunny days when he can see the sun, and he probably reacts somehow to the sun and gets more excited. And he starts pooping everywhere. Oh my god, guys. He just... everything is dirty. Like, everything in his reach is dirty, and you have to clean it once. And you go back to work. You're doing some work, and then you come back. Guess what you see? Everything is dirty again, all around. All fabrics, all new blankets, all water cans, all pillows, food. Everything is dirty, and you have to redo everything from scratch. Food from scratch, clean sheets, clean pillows, clean all the wood, clean everything. And you go back to work, and you hope to work a little bit, and then you hear he's scratching again from upstairs, and you go upstairs. And guess what you see? You see this boy covered from head to his tail again, and like up to 5 times a day this happens. Can you imagine this life? So that's why I am saying that the breeding season can be really annoying sometimes, even for such a nice guys as my boy. So this is answering this question. Okay, is there any more? Let's see. Do you ever go out and leave him alone, or are you always with him? I'm always with him for a number of reasons. First, because he's blind, and I don't trust his decisions in terms of where he can go and where he cannot. Second, he's a very bright color, and I'm living in the area where there are a lot of predators. I'm living literally in the middle of nowhere, in the mountains, Appalachian Mountains. My house is in the mountains, and there are a lot of predators, from bears to hawks to eagles, who can just spray him. I don't want that to happen. And I also don't let him go into the grass, into the plants or trees, because I'm trying to, because he's an albino, his immune system is much lower than a regular iguana. And by exposing him to the wild nature, to putting him into the grass, there is a risk of him getting some diseases or getting some parasites or some, because right now I know that he's clean. There is no salmonella, there's no any parasites, there is no any bugs, because we checked a number of times and he's completely clean, and I don't want to mess with that. So I'm trying to keep him clean, sterile, and happy without letting him wander in the open nature. Without time, take great care. Thank you very much. Jacksonville, Florida, USA. Hello guys, how are you doing there? And he wouldn't stay in his enclosure during, I guess it's a question regarding the breeding period. No, usually during the breeding period, they just want to get out. They're not sitting in their enclosure, they're just wandering around, they're looking for something or for someone. And what's like, some people are asking, why don't you just give him a girlfriend, right? For iguanas, it works different. For reptiles, it works different. It's not like a cat or dog where you can provide them a partner and then this instinct just goes away. For reptiles, for iguanas particularly, it doesn't work that way. They can have this mating through all the season, like 4 months without a stop. It can be just a marathon for them. So me giving him a girlfriend will not change nothing. It will not change nothing in terms of his behavior or his needs. Okay, let's move forward. Thank you guys. Thank you for support. Really appreciate it. Okay. This is one of the people who decided to let me once again know that I am not supposed to remove the shed from my iguana. 1 second, guys, I'll be right back. Give me 3 minutes, okay? As for staying, so basically what this person is saying, that I'm not supposed to peel the dead skin of the body of my pet. Generally, yes, you're not supposed to peel the skin in the case it is still alive and it's still connected to the main body. But as you can see from all my videos, like I'm really tired of speaking of this again and again. But if you can see from all my videos, I'm never peeling his skin off the living tissue, only where it's already off the body. Like, and still people are asking, why are you doing that? My question to those people, like, without, like, this animal cannot speak, this animal cannot talk and to express himself and to tell that he's in discomfort, right? How would you know that, let's say, if you are human and you cannot speak, you cannot express yourself with language, how would I know that you are feeling discomfort? Of course, by your body language and of course by your actions. The same with Iguana. He cannot speak to me, but I see that having all those dead skins part, it clearly, I cannot stress this enough. Those dead skin parts on his body clearly makes him feel uncomfortable. I can see this because I having reptiles for years already. I can see that he's trying to scratch, he's trying to remove it, he's feeling not good. But what makes it worse, because this is a blind animal that I have, and he cannot see well, and he cannot measure the distance between certain objects and obstacles on his way. And to remove that skin from his body, sometimes he just starts hitting objects like really hard on his way. Let's say it's a wall of his enclosure, or it's something that anything that he can find on his way. It makes me scary that he can hurt himself somehow. I don't want that to happen. That's why I'm trying to help him to remove that stress, that level of stress of him, by removing nicely the pieces of skin. Of course, I agree that you have to give a bath to the animal, like half an hour bath, just to help that skin be easily removed without any stress to animal. But also you can see all those videos that I'm posting. If this animal would feel uncomfortable, wouldn't it show it? Like, please tell me, wouldn't it show it that it's pain for him, or I'm making some discomfort? No, he's staying and seems like he is enjoying. So please stop sending me these messages. I'm, as an owner, will do what I see and feel necessary for my animal, and that's it. I don't care about your opinion on this. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you've read in articles. I will do what I think is necessary for my animal to feel better. That's the end of the conversation. Just don't want to keep going on this. Was he always blind? Yes, the blindness came from, as I already said, from the albinism. Because he's albino, he doesn't have that melanin, the eyes, and it makes the light in the bigger amounts go through the crystal, and that's why he cannot see well from birth. Okay, let's move forward. Can you send or post a video for your enclosure? I plan to build one. Good question. I have 2 videos basically where I'm constructing this enclosure from scratch. You can find it on this channel that you are watching right now. You can go to the playlist with the videos, and one of the earliest videos you'll see 2 parts where I'm constructing the enclosure with my friend, literally from scratch, and where I'm talking about this enclosure, etc. By the way, some people saying that the enclosure for Tamerlan that I'm having, it's too small. Yes, he's already grown up out of this, and I need to make him a bigger enclosure. But what is important as well is that for albino iguanas, this is important. Albino iguanas that doesn't have a good sight require different structure of the shelves. If for a regular iguana who have a good sight, you can put whatever you want in terms of decorations, branches, different things that to let them sleep and walk. For albino animals, the best thing you can do is just to work with the flat surfaces. Leveling the enclosure with the flat surfaces, allowing him to be as comfortable as possible, being blind. It's like the human with special needs. They need a special treatment in the society. The same goes for the blind animals. You have to think when you're building the enclosure, and if this animal is blind, you have to think this through in advance. how are you going to construct the ladders, how are you going to construct the places for him to sleep where he will not be scared to, to fall left or right, where he'll be comfortable on the flat surface. This is important. Like you see in my case here, I created 3 different levels where he can rest, and all those levels are mostly flat with some pillows and soft things located on them. And also those surfaces have the holes in the floor, so if he poop, it will all go down into the water cans instead of making him dirty and the environment dirty, which happens anyway. Like you cannot avoid that in any way, him being dirty, but this way you minimize the risk of him being dirty. Let's see some comments. Yeah, I would never, like, how can someone think that I can hurt him? That I can do something that will hurt him? Like, listen, I know this animal so well. I feel like it's my soulmate, I feel his body language. I feel his language without words. I could read if he be in the pain. I could read this by his behavior, by his reaction. Clearly, it's not what's happening. Okay, and I got them the day before big surgery. I had, and I will speak probably later on some later streams about this, but I had a big health issue, and I had to undergo a serious surgery. And as a way of taking it, I was scared, of course, and as a way of making it easier for me and my wife decided to get this animal in my life, because it was my dream for years. First, I've researched this Tom Crutchfield reptile farm when I was still in Ukraine in 2012. This was the first time I saw albino iguanas exist, and they are so beautiful, and there are a lot of morphs of them. And that's 2012, 2013 when I started following his Instagram account. And it was my long time dream to have this animal. It was expensive and it was a big decision for us, but we got him, and I received this package literally the day before my surgery. And the surgery thankfully went well. And this animal helped me to make my way from having basically a disabled hand for 2 years to being a healthy person, and to go through this journey mentally. Like the times I was just be able to take this animal to put here and say nothing and just exchange this energy exchange with him, it helped me so much. So I consider them as my healer, as my helper, as my soulmate. Like, really, I think we have this connection with him, because when I'm having a bad day at work, or being a creative director in a studio with employees, it can be pretty stressful, especially in the culture that is not yours. And from time to time, I'm having bad times at work, but just holding Tom together with me for some time, it just helps me to heal my inner energy and get back to normal. And I have this, it's hard to say, but I have this connection with him, some energy flow. I would never hurt him, no. So we spoke about the enclosure. Yes, you can find the videos of my enclosure and the construction process on this channel that we are speaking right now, in the videos section, a playlist. Okay, about hurting the lizard again. Let's move forward. So this one is probably the most of I'm receiving messages like this much more often than others. in my private messages and just under the posts where people are saying that it's a wild animals and I have to let him go into the wild. These people are just stupid. Like, on some point of my life, I had to admit the point that some people are just stupid and you cannot do anything with that. They just are. They don't have knowledge. They don't have. There is a certain level of their development. That's it. You can't do anything with that. Some people are just stupid and they come to my profile and start saying bullshit like this. And this is not the worst case even. There are much more worse things that people are saying. First I was triggered, of course, but then, listen, I'm walking and some little dog start barking on me. Should I stop and ask, why are you barking? What's your problem? No, it's just stupid dog. Why would I even have a conversation with it, right? I don't care. I don't care. I don't want even to start discussing what this man is telling. He just doesn't have knowledge and doesn't have any idea about this animal. That's it. I don't want to talk about it. Such a treasure having Tom, I agree. He's amazing. What happens if you have a power failure? This is how do you keep Tom warm? It's a good question. Surprisingly, why I'm saying surprisingly, because for the house that is located literally in the mountains, for 3 years me living here, it was only one time when we lost power during winter. Only one time during the hardest storm. This is great. I cannot complain. But when that happens, I wasn't prepared. My generator, I didn't know the time how to use it. So what I did, I took him out of the cage. And of course, if I wouldn't, he would be freezed. And for iguanas, 18 degrees Celsius is already too low. They start feeling bad. They start feeling freezed, and like their life cycle slows down, and nothing good will not a good. There will be no good output if iguana will stay in the cold temperature. So I took him out, and just with my wife, we took him to our bed and just placed between us, placed some warm water into the it's called thermos, thermos, and he spent all night in our bed, warm and nice, and then in the morning the electricity recovered and everything was good. So that was an interesting experience. I remember the day snow. It was snowing so hard that we had the snow literally covering half of our windows. Can you imagine? And the winds were huge, and probably that's how the electricity went down. So I already spoke why I'm not taking him outside. That house on the background is just a shed for equipment that I'm using to take care of my property. That's not for them. Probably it's a good idea for him to have this, summer house. We'll see. Why not? This one. I like this guy. So here is his message. Bring him to Florida and it will disappear in a second. Basically what he's saying, that he will kill it or someone will kill it. Like, how stupid and ignorant and how clone have you be to come to someone's profile online and write bullshit like this to people that you don't even know, like. But first I was of course very triggered when I just started this account, but now I'm just using these people as a how Instagram algorithm works. Instagram algorithm works where the more engagement your posts have, The more comments your post have and likes, the higher in the rankings your post goes. So right now I'm treating people like this, not like some kind of animals, enemies, not like some kind of haters. I just don't care about those people at all, but I'm using them as a content, literally. I'm using them to promote my account. I'm using them to, you know, to make an engagement, to have all these comments continue. So I just, you know, start speaking with him, and he, of course, he replies without knowing that he's helping me actually to grow my account. So yeah, here we go. Another one stupid idiot in the comments. I like this one. Did you know that iguanas are some of the most dangerous animals in the world? No, I didn't know that. I think that the most dangerous animal in the world is human, and I have a reason for thinking that. But if you don't know how to behave around iguanas, they definitely can be dangerous for you. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, let's see here. If this bothered him in any way, he would be trying to get away, exactly. But yet he's laying here. So this is again to the point of shedding and removing that skin from his body. Yes, I'm on YouTube. Thank you, welcome. Happy to have you guys here. Thank you for coming. I'm super glad that it's already been, what? Almost 2 hours and people are still watching. Thank you guys. Thank you very much for staying with us. I'm really enjoying this and glad that you're having fun. So, yes, if he would be hurt, he would definitely show somehow that he is being hurt. It doesn't happen with Tom because I'm doing everything properly. I'm giving him a bath. After the bath, the skin is very soft, and you can easily remove that dead skin, soft skin, out of his body without hurting an animal. Let's see this here. Are you for or against albino iguanas being bred on the purpose? Was Tom albinism just a coincidence, or did the breeder want it? No hate, I'm just interested. No, all fine, it's a good question. Happy boy, thank you. I'm just reading comments and the messages here. Thank you for support. So answering this question, I already partly answered in the beginning of the live stream. My personal opinion that if the selective breeding can happen with the dogs, if the selective breeding can happen with the cats, with birds, with chickens, with cows, with animals for meat industry, with fishes, why it's not good for iguanas? It's just the way how it goes. People trying to make a good pets and people trying to make a beautiful pets. Yes, Tom has this blindness problem because he was breeded as an albino. But again, being blind, he avoiding a lot of stress in his life. I'm not saying that being blind is good. I'm just saying that if compared to the life of the regular iguana, that constantly being stressed by his owner, by not being kept in the wild nature, but kept in the enclosure, if compared to Tom having a wonderful life without the stress, I don't see any problem in that. So that's my honest answer. And again, I'm not pretending to be 100% correct. It's just my opinion, and people can have their own opinions on this matter. Exactly, this is actually this is an excellent point, because he can get them off himself and they may get stuck. I received a message from a guy who showed me the pictures of his iguana where the old shed on the spikes was underneath and the iguana shedded again and the old shed wasn't removed, and these spikes had the new shed on top of the old, and it started really hurting them because those spikes are sensitive. They are not like the nails we have or the hair. Those spikes are really sensitive parts of their body, and it starts really hurting them. So this may happen. The shed might stuck under itself previous layers, and it's nothing good to the animal. You have to help it. You have to help it remove it. Damn, it's the most beautiful gun I ever seen. You're the best dad for Tan. Yeah, thank you very much. I agree. I cannot agree more. I think we are a perfect match for each other. Thank you. Okay, I think that's all I have in terms of questions. And now what I would like to do next is I would like to watch some reptile related and iguana related videos together with you. You sent me these videos to see and asked for my opinion, and that's what I want to do now. I want to give my opinion watching this video kind of together with you and commenting it. But before that, give me 3 minutes, I'll be right back. Hey, I'm back. Thank you guys for staying. Really appreciate you being with me for already around 2 hours. It's amazing. Thank you for staying. And he loves your music. Sending your ground guitar. It's hard to explain, but I think my best guess is he can hear the music, and always while I'm playing guitar, what amazes me is that instead of running away from sound, which, you can think that the sound can make him discomfort and like he can run away from the discomfort, but what happens when I'm playing the guitar and Tom hears the sound, he goes to the sound, not away from that, but he comes exactly where my fingers are, exactly where the sound comes out on the guitar. It's so interesting. It's unexpected, that reptile wants to get closer to the source of sound and to explore it, how it works. Probably, I don't know, it's my best guess, but it's very interesting. There are some interesting videos on. Let me actually see if I can find right now. Hello, welcome. Let me see if I can find the videos where I'm reacting on the guitar, because it's a really interesting reaction. Okay, Dragon and me. Let's go to our videos. Yeah, this one. Really cool. Look at his behavior. He's not running away from the sound. Thank you very much. He's not running away. By the way, it was the video from probably like 2 years ago. Look at his reaction. He's clearly listening. He wants to engage. Isn't it funny? He just wants to engage with the fingers, with the sound. Probably he hears the sound in a different way than humans are. Probably he sees them as a kind of waves, like some fish do, or like bats. You see? He is going towards the sound, not away from it. Yep. So here we go. Okay guys, let's move forward, and I want to watch some videos together with you, the videos that you asked my opinion about. And the first one is this one. It's by Cleans Reptiles, and it's already 5 years old. And what's interesting is that right now this video is called The Green Iguana, the best pet lizard ? But when I first time I was recommended this video, to see this video, it was called The Green Iguana, the worst pet possible. I think so. I will not, don't take my word on that, but I think this name of this video was changed. I'm not sure, but I think it is. So let's see.
Hi there. I'm here today with Jade, who is a green iguana, and we want to talk a little bit about the green iguana. Jade comes from a local reptile rescue. My buddy Rick Voss runs a rescue, and he's got Jade. Jade is a green iguana, though her color is actually blue. That's just a...
Yeah, that's very interesting that iguana as a species, like this one, the green iguana, it's even called iguana, which means the color. Like the meaning of the word iguana is green. So then the name of the species is green, like iguana. And this is a morph of this animal. Is it normal for an iguana to wag its tail when it's young? I'm not sure if I understand the word wag. Sorry, my English. If you can rephrase your question, I will answer. But let's see the video.
Mutation. She's a morph. It's called exanthic or blue phase green iguana, but she's the same species, iguana. Now this is green iguana, the best pet lizard. So, is the green iguana the best pet lizard?
Yes, but for me, for some people, not for everyone.
Goodness no. Nope. But is it the best pet iguana? Yeah, also not that. Not even close to that. Is it the best large iguana? I mean, because... Nope. No, it's not. And none of them are good. This is possibly the worst.
None of them are good. Listen. Watch your language, man. Iguanas are the best. At least some of them are.
Of the big iguanas. They're just horrible pets. A while back, we did a video on savanna monitors. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out right here. And in that video, I was very much trying to communicate. In fact, I told you, they're a bad pet lizard. And a lot of people have commented that they were thinking about getting a savanna monitor, and after watching our video, they decided to go a different route. And that's made me really happy. But there are some people who have said, after watching that video, they want a savanna monitor more than before. So obviously,
Exactly what happens, because usually how it goes is when you raise some topic and you're speaking about something, and probably your intention to explain the topic and kind of tell to people, don't do this. But what will happen instead? Watching this material or video or reading something, it will make people even want this certain animal even more, you see? So it's probably you are serving the different, like you're getting the different result than you're expecting to get. Here's the question: is it normal for an iguana to wag its tail when it's young? What is a wag? Let me see. I just don't know this word. What is a wag? Вилять, махать. Okay. Iguana can wag his tail in any age, especially if it's been triggered, especially if it's been under some mood or been aggressive or territorial. Usually what they do the first is they start showing that they don't want this, then they don't want this, how to say, let's say they're doing this behind a human, they just don't want this interaction. Yeah, they just don't want this. They're trying to avoid the further interaction with the human or with other animal. And it starts from the tail, then it may hit with the tail, and then it may bite. That's how the iguana just trying to be territorial and show certain, like with this body language, that he's not very happy in the current state, in the current moment with what's going on. So let's continue with the video.
Honestly, I need to be a little bit more clear about this stuff. Savanna monitors are bad pets because they're very difficult to really care for appropriately.
I think the word bad pet is inappropriate. I understand what Clint is trying to, what message Clint is trying to send here, but I don't think that the bad pet is appropriate wording, appropriate way of putting things in this particular case.
If you really take care of one right, it's going to need a good chunk of your house, and it's going to need a huge part of your salary. And then, it's not that bad. It may or may not ever be a very nice lizard, but they're very food motivated. You can work with one. You can get it to be somewhat reasonable. Not a good pet lizard, but better than this. Because of these things, the savanna monitor is not right for most people. But I'm going to go ahead and say that the green iguana is not right for anybody.
I would avoid again putting the statement clear. I understand why Clint is trying to say what he's saying, but I disagree with this way of putting things.
They're really bad, and the problem with them isn't care. It's really not very hard to keep an iguana alive. The problem with green iguanas is their personality.
True. True. Here, 100% true, 100% agree. The personality of iguana plays the main role in their behavior. Usually, albino animals, albino iguanas have a better behavior and better attitude than the regular iguanas, again for the reason that they can see. They have this sight. The regular ones, right? While the albino animals doesn't have this sight, and they cannot be stressed so easily. So that's where the behavior, the bad behavior, the bad character of an iguana comes from. It comes from that this animal feeling uncomfortable and this animal feeling scared. It's not that they're just asshole animals. No, they are animals that feeling discomfort and then trying to escape and that trying to avoid the communication with the human or someone. They just want to be left alone. So this is very important to understand where that anger comes from. It's not like it's a devil animal. No, this animal just wants to be left alone. And yes, there are regular iguanas, not albinos, who have better mood. Let's say this, everyone knows him, iguana body, right? He is a normal iguana, he is not blind, he is not albino, but his behavior is very nice. And that's how much goes into the character of the animal. And saying that iguanas are bad for everyone and the baddest pets, I would just avoid saying that.
They are not nice. They're not nice lizards, and they're full of weapons. I am going to go ahead and say this right now. I do not recommend green iguanas to anybody. The only people who I think should have green iguanas are rescues who have taken them off the hands of people who made a horrible decision. Those are the only people who should have green iguanas. Do not buy an iguana. But, just in...
I disagree. Strongly disagree. You can speak for everyone. You can speak only for yourself. There are people like me, for example, who dreamed for years just to have iguana, and who studied the behavior of this animal and the needs of this animal and everything about this animal in advance before having this lizard pet, right? Beforehand. So now, knowing that knowledge and having all that information, I can make a decision. But he is right in terms of there are huge ton of people who diving into this iguana pet problem without having any information. They don't know how much expensive is the equipment, how aggressive can those animals be, without knowing their body language, without knowing their behavior during the breeding period, without knowing the differences between male and female behavior, without knowing the amount of time you will have to put into this animal. They just start having it as a pet. And this is a big mistake. Again, coming to the problem of iguanas and invasive species in Florida right now, yeah? So let's get back to the video.
In case you're one of the people who is considering opening up a reptile rescue, I'm going to give you a little preview into one of the most common rescue reptiles you're going to run into. We give the green iguana overall a score of 2.6 out of 5.
Wait. Guys, like you see at this picture and take a look and say me what is wrong right away. Like, what is wrong here? Anyone? Why are we measuring iguana in a chameleons? Iguanas should be measured in iguanas, right? Why are we making a measure of an iguana in the shape of chameleons? It's wrong. Let's continue.
And that will come down to our 5 categories, which are handleability, care, hardiness, availability, and upfront costs. So let's start with handleability, shall we? We give the green iguana a score of 1 out of 5 for handleability. This one here is about as good as they come, and she's kind of a handful. Any iguana may be good sometimes, but there are almost certainly going to be times in their life, especially when they hit maturity, it might just depend on the time of year or how they're feeling that day, when suddenly they won't be nice at all. And they may...
The same as with people. When you're assigned your friendship or your relationship with some person, this person will never be the same. You cannot expect from someone be the nicest thing ever all the time. No, it's not how the life works. It will be ups and downs. It will be differences in behavior. But I see what he's saying here. Overall, I agree. Like, the behavior of an iguana most of the times can be just terrible, but again, it comes from the fear. It's very important to understand. Because without understanding this important point, that their behavior not coming from their nature, their behavior coming from the fear, coming from the attempt to protect themselves. This way, understanding this, you will be able to build the relationship with the animal this way.
May never be nice again. Most of them are not good most of the time. Some of them deserve a 0 for handleability because they won't let you anywhere within 10 feet of them without charging at you and trying to harm you, and they're very good at harming you. They can drop that tail. It's probably not something they're going to do on their own.
By the way, looking at this animal here and looking at its spikes, you can see that the spikes of this little creature here are not in a healthy way, and just as looking at humans' nails on the fingers and the hair, you can see if this person healthy or not. The same goes for iguanas. We are looking at their spikes. You can tell if the care for this animal is proper or not. I don't want to comment in any way on the way how this animal is treated by Clint or his team. I'm in no position to comment on that because I don't have knowledge on that, but just by looking at this animal, I see that probably the humidity have to be better in this enclosure, because iguanas, for their well-being, need a humidity of 70+%. If you take a look at Tamerlan, right here, you see those spikes. They are healthy, they are straight, they are even length, and they are without these deformations. Because the humidity in the enclosure is always kept by electronic devices on the same amount, same level. The same goes for the nutrients and calcium and the food and everything that goes into the diet. Everything is measured and everything is given in the proper way. So I just wanted to, mention this point, that this is not how the healthy iguana should look like. That's for sure. Let's continue.
And they're very good at harming you. They can drop that tail. It's probably not something they're going to do on their own, but if it got pulled or crushed, they can definitely drop that tail, and they'll regenerate it, but it's not quite the same. But honestly...
By the way, about the tail regeneration, it's interesting that when iguana drops the tail, it does not grow. So the tail consists of these vertebrae, right? And they go all the way to the tip of the tail. And when the certain length of this tail is broken, all those vertebrae after the break are gone, obviously. So iguana cannot grow those vertebrae back. This is important to understand. It's not growing the bones that comes into the tail. It grows the one static kind of a hard connective tissue to fill in the size, because they need the weapon to fight against the predators, right? That's why this mechanism developed in the nature, where they grow back their tails. But it's important to understand that when iguana is losing tail, it will never have this tail back again on the original state. It will have this one solid single stick coming out of the broken tail that doesn't have any bones in it. It cannot be well bended, and it doesn't have muscles there that can help operate the tail. So that's important to know. Let's continue.
And this means a lot coming from me. Dropping their tail is not the worst thing they do with that tail. That tail is going to be their first line of defense, generally speaking, and they're going to rear up and they're going to whip you with it, and it's like a razor whip, and it can cut you open and send you for stitches. So it's an exciting little whip there that they've got on the backside. Moving forward, they've got razor sharp claws that they can tear you open with, and potentially you can need stitches for that. That's probably...
Even though I trim the nails of Tamerlan on the regular basis, with the electric trimmer, with this little trimmer for the pet nails, my hands mostly always are having the scratches, because the pressure and the strength of those muscles on the legs are so big that they can scratch you even with the nails being trimmed. Like you see this animal here have the trimmed nails, but still I bet it can really harm you with it.
Probably not something they're going to do defensively, but if you pick one up wrong, and if its nails happen to be pretty sharp, that can be pretty nasty. The mouth is actually the business end that I'm the most concerned about, because...
Yes, the iguana mouth, iguana teeth are probably the sickest thing I ever seen and ever experienced. Those teeth, iguana teeth, they are like shark teeth. It's not just the teeth like a dog have or like human have, right? Those teeth have this shape, and they also have these little spikes on the sides, like the knife for bread, you know? It's not just a knife that has this clear surface, but this knife has kind of tooth on the knife. The same goes for the iguana tooth. When they grab and when they really bite you really hard, it can be really painful and can make you big damage.
Because they do bite, especially mature adult males. They'll come and they'll bite and they will death roll and they will shake and rip you apart. And I have seen some massive iguana bites on faces and...
And you're looking at this guy right now, right here, and this the red thing from Strawberry, and he's like, yeah, I know, I'm doing that. That's what I do, usually in the morning, around 10 a.m. every day, yes. Oh, that is true.
Arms and legs, a lot of people who've lost fingers to iguanas, that's why I'm keeping...
A lot of people who lost fingers to iguanas, this is something new for me. I never heard someone losing finger to iguana bite. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe there is an evidence for that. Me personally, I'm just don't aware of someone losing fingers, for the reason that iguana teeth are very sharp, and they are doing excellent job in cutting meat and skin. But I don't think that these teeth are capable of cutting the bone. The bone tissue, I don't think so. I mean, I may be wrong, or maybe this person lost the finger because so much damage was dealt to the tissues. That probably the true, but iguana unable to cut the bone. No, I don't think so.
Keeping a pretty good eye on this one. She seems to be pretty good as iguanas go, but I don't like her looking at me like that, so I keep a little eye on her. Big mature males are very territorial, and so females are going to be better than males, but not always. And when they're not good, it's horrible just the same. There are exceptions, but even in an exception, even if you have an iguana that right now has always been great, seems mellow all the time, they can change just spontaneously. You won't see it coming until it's latched.
I can agree with this. The only one time when Tom beat me, and I wasn't able to read his body language before the bite, it was a fraction of a second. It took him a fraction of a second to find my finger, to cut it open, and to go away. It was done so fast, I wasn't able to blink my eye. It's like the speed that it was done with, it was definitely unexpected, and yeah, it was insane.
Onto your face, and that's sub-ideal. When it comes to care, we give the green iguana a score of 3 out of 5. Care is really not...
I cannot see his measuring iguana in chameleons, man. Iguanas deserve to be measured in iguanas for the graphics. I think so.
Not all that bad for a giant lizard. They need an absolutely enormous enclosure. It needs to be tall, long, and wide. It needs to have areas for them to climb. It can be very difficult to clean this enclosure if you've got an iguana that won't allow you anywhere within 10 feet of it. So that's something to keep in mind, that sometimes You're not going to be allowed in there, and when you do go in, it means you're going to have to wrestle that iguana, probably throw a big blanket on it, cover it up, drag.
You see, when he's saying things like that, where you have to wrestle your iguana, to put a blanket on it, I can tell that the relationship between animal and human in this case is already on the point where it's over the line. My suggestion is to try to keep this relationship from the beginning in the better place, and to learn read the body language of the animal, and to avoid the stress from the very beginning. If you see that this animal doesn't want right now to be petted, let it be. Don't push it. Wait till evening, let's say it's 6 or 7 or 8 p.m. in the evening, when it's already sleeping, and this way, by touching it slowly, time by time, day by day, month by month, slowly, take it easy. Get the animal comfortable with your touch, with your like when you're standing close to terrarium. Little step by little step, build this relationship. Don't rush it. Don't push it, okay? Because Clint talking right now about the state of things where it's already over the line. It's not normal relationship between animal and the human, where a human have to jump with a blanket on this animal just to keep it away and to be able to clean the enclosure. It's wrong. I'm a strong believer that by feeling your animal that you are having at home, you will be able to build the at least sufferable and normal relationship. Chameleon is Clint's logo for his business, also acts as a... I don't see the message. It was there. Okay, let's move forward.
I get out of there, it's going to be quite the ordeal. I guess just sort of like having a small angry ninja that lives in a room in your house and doesn't clean up after himself. You are going to need to keep humidity up in that enclosure, and they're going to need to have access to water. Also, they're going to need proper lighting. They're going to need quite a bit of heat in a very large area, so that's going to be a lot of lights.
So I guess what's this person in the chat is saying, Laura, is that Chameleon is the graphics that Clint using just to stay clear, to make clear that... Hello? Can you guys hear me? I hope so. I hope you can still. So it was a joke regarding the chameleon. I understand that he used this chameleon animal as a measurement for this graph. It was just a joke by my side, and I'm sorry if you guys didn't get it. Okay, let's move forward. By the way, about the water tanks. Decision I made for myself is I removed all the coverings from the floor of my terrarium, and I just put the water tanks in there. Wait, something wrong with my camera, I think. Give me a second. I need to fix the camera. Fix the camera. I need to fix the camera. 1 second. I guess my camera died, which is unfortunate, but let's finish watching this video. So yeah, my point for my enclosure, I made a decision to have the floor covered with the water pools, where Tamerlan will have a constant reach to the water as he need. Chameleon is Clint's business logo and the visual aid. I understand that. Thank you for letting me know. It was a joke from my side. Okay, let's continue.
Heat in a very large area, so that's going to be a lot of lights or a lot of money to heat a room. So keep that in mind. They also need UVB lighting, which doesn't travel all that far, so you're going to need probably a lot of it in various different locations in the enclosure. They also are going to eat a lot as adults, mostly greens. As juveniles, they're going to eat some insects, but as adults, they're going to be eating almost purely greens, fruits, and greens like mustard greens, collard greens, kale in moderation, but you don't want too much of that because it can bind calcium. These sorts of things you're going to need to be buying a lot of. They're also going to need calcium and vitamin supplements.
And you know what? Talking about Tam, he's eating better food than me. Like, when I'm going shopping and I'm buying food for myself, I can buy like anything. But for him, I'm always buying organic food. Just trying to stay organic. Always.
Like most lizards. When it comes to hardiness, we actually give the green iguana a score of 4 out of 5. Almost all imports, which is going to be the vast majority of iguanas that you're going to see, they're going to be farm-raised babies. They are going to probably have some parasites to them. They're going to be a little bit emaciated and starved from the journey. But if you get them past that point, they're probably going to be pretty solid for you as long as you give them the proper enclosure, proper heat.
I think so. I agree 100% here. The best you can do is to get the animal from the breeder, from some farm. First, it will be the clean animal. Second, the behavior can be better. They will not be as wild as the wild animals, just the ones that are caught in the wild. And third, they will get used to human hands, right? They will be among people from their childhood as they are born. Yeah, I think it's a very good point.
Humidity, access to water, food, they're going to do just fine. When I say that they're farm raised, what this really means is that somebody has a big pen in their backyard, basically, probably down in Mexico or somewhere warm where they're just outside running around, basically kept like wild iguanas. They might be flinging out a little bit of food for them every now and then. And they're breeding back there. And so periodically they gather up all the babies, stuff them into boxes, and ship them to wherever you are. They are in some ways better than wild caught, really only because you're not decimating any wild populations. If you get one that's captive bred, which would be better, I still wouldn't recommend it, but better, you're not going to have to worry about that initial point where you could very easily lose your lizard. When it comes to availability, we give these a score of 3 out of 5. Of course, you know that it's fairly easy to get an imported baby, but a captive bred individual is harder to find. You're probably going to need...
Okay, availability. I would say right now, when the iguanas are completely banned in Florida, probably availability will depend on the state where you are. And I guess from the country where you are, because the country where I'm from, iguana was really hard to get. In America, it's much easier to have this animal at home. But yes, if you talk about the morphs, let's say it's albino, the morph of albino iguana, it's even harder to get it.
Need to go straight to a breeder or online, but they are out there. This one, for example, is a blue, possibly xanthic morph, probably captive bred, though some of these are also farm raised. The reason not very many people breed them is because you can buy them for $20 as imports, and so who's going to put the money and time and effort into having a huge group of giant, angry, cranky monster lizards to produce babies if they're having to compete with $25 lizards? Not very many people are interested in breeding green iguanas, and that's probably a good thing. If you are going to breed iguanas, you're probably going to keep some of the more expensive, slightly better pet iguanas like the Cuban rock iguana or rhinoceros iguanas, which are better.
I love those. Rhinoceros iguanas are just beautiful. Oh my god, they're such a wonderful animal. I want it someday.
Pets, but that doesn't mean that they won't bite you on the face one day. If you are very interested in keeping iguanas, I would definitely recommend Camp Kenan. His channel is actually pretty good. He keeps his iguanas outside, which is definitely the best scenario for keeping an iguana. Not an option for everybody, but if you happen to live in Florida, great option. Just don't let them go because they do just fine in Florida on their own. They don't really need you. They're like...
Exactly, this is a great point, and I already spoke about this in the beginning of our stream. The huge problem is handmade by the people who are just letting their pets outside without any second thought. It just makes me sick. Again, all those suffering that iguanas are going through in Florida right now is mostly on the hands of those irresponsible people who are just letting this happen. I agree with Clint here.
Cats. I don't want to discourage those of you who have iguanas from bringing them to a reptile rescue. You're asking a lot of somebody, but do not release them into the wild.
Yes.
We actually have a whole video about what you should do if you have obtained an animal like an iguana and later on decided this was a bad choice. If you have the heart to rescue an iguana, there are so many of them that need rescued. It's going to be a horrible pet for you, so this is just a total sacrifice. But
True.
That's probably the only scenario in which I would recommend getting one at all. And make sure that's really what you want for yourself, because that is a sacrifice. That is...
No, I think his message here, his main message here is absolutely correct. Like, taking aside certain things, I think his main message in this video is absolutely right. Like it.
Not you getting something cool. That is you getting a new awful responsibility, but doing a lizard and an irresponsible keeper a favor. When it comes to upfront costs, we give the green iguana a score of 2 out of 5. Even if you buy a cheap import, the cost of the iguana is not what's expensive. It's going to be that enormous enclosure with all the fancy lighting.
True. Not only lighting, but heating, humidity. All the, like right now, the setup that Tamerlan having, I'm having everything electronically and Wi-Fi directed, so I can take my phone, disable, enable lights, disable, enable heating, temperature, humidity. Everything is checked and measured electronically. I also have a backup system that if the main one will go down, the backup will automatically measure the temperature and turn on. So it's just to build this infrastructure for the terrarium, for the iguana to feel comfortable. It takes a lot of efforts and also knowledge and of course money. So this is true.
That's what's going to be very, very expensive. Like I said, if you can do it outdoors, it'll be considerably cheaper. But if this is going to be an indoor enclosure, it's going to cost you a lot of money. You're probably and almost certainly going to have to build this yourself. So hopefully you've got access to power tools. You are going to need a big water dish, large enough for them to soak in it. Because if you can't provide a place for them to soak, that means you're going to need to pull that lizard out and soak it. And sometimes they won't put up with that.
True. I think in the best case scenario, you have to do both. You have to take your animal out and soak him like 2-3 times a week, this way or another, because it's just how they absorb water. They absorb water not only from food, but also through their skin. And you have to give enough water for them to feel good, also by spraying during the day, also by providing the water in these bowls. As I said, in my terrarium I cover the whole bottom side of the terrarium with the water bowls where there is no empty space. It's all covered kind of with water, and for them it seems very, very good. It seems he when he needs to go to the toilet or he wants to drink, very rare occasions, he just goes down and do what he needs.
When you think about it, a water dish big enough for a 6+ foot male green iguana to soak in is a serious water dish. Overall, we give the green iguana a score of 2.6 out of 5. Really? That's a...
Let me think about it. I think he's right in everything regarding the regular iguana. I think it's a very good video. I think he's saying everything, all things correct with regards of a regular green iguana that probably was rescued or was caught in the wild. But there is, especially later the years, there is another aspect of it as albino iguanas, as also albinos, as iguanas were much more friendly with people lately. Like, again, let's take a look at that iguana body iguana. He's very friendly with his owner. So I would agree with this score.
A fantastic score for such a horrible pet lizard. In
It's not
most
horrible.
ways, they really are great captives.
It's not horrible. It's just the human is not being ready and prepared and knowledgeable enough to have this pet. They are not horrible.
It's just that personality. It's horrible.
It's not their personality. It's not their personality. It's their scare and their protectiveness and their fear. It's not their personality. It's just their natural reaction to this distraction.
It's a horrible personality almost with every single individual. And like I said, even if you got a good one, it could just snap on you one day. And that makes them horrible, horrible pet reptiles. If you what you want is a big lizard that is amazing to look at, expensive to keep, that hates your guts and might spontaneously attack you and bite off your fingers or your nose. It's loaded with weapons like a little room ninja. Green
Here
iguanas
you
are
go.
for you. If you don't
Yeah.
like grievous injuries and trips to the emergency room, then I can list literally just dozens and dozens of better pet lizards than this.
Yes, exactly. One in Texas rocket the iguana and another in Ireland lizard the body. Their pets are quite peace and charm. This is my point. Like, super important to understand in this case. Don't bring the relationship with your pet to the point where you have to jump on this animal with a blanket just to keep it calm and like to be afraid of him entering the room. This relationship is already brought to the wrong level. There is a history before this that brought the situation to this level. Don't you like Clint, you're trying to see the situation from the end result. What I'm trying to say is that you should look at this further back, understand where this problem is coming from, and try to avoid this moving forward with your in your relationship with your animal. That's my point. Yes, I agree that they can be super territorial, super aggressive. They can hurt you. But that's all comes that they're just scared. They are just being scared. That's it.
To do that, please check out the lists of great pet lizards and other reptiles that we've already compiled. We're going to be releasing more of those. There are so many great pet reptiles out there. There's just absolutely no reason at all to have a green iguana.
There is a reason to have an iguana if this iguana is what you want and is what you prepared yourself for and you have the knowledge. If you doesn't have these check marks, iguana could be the worst pet for you. I agree.
Make sure that you go ahead and subscribe to our channel, click the little bell so you can get the updates whenever we come out with another lizard that is so much better than a green iguana to keep as a pet. Every Saturday, we're going to come out with a new video, and basically all of them are going to be.
I think it's a great video. Here is the link. Give him a like and follow. I think he's sending the very correct message to the iguana owners, and I understand what he's trying to do here. I just personally wouldn't be as what's the word? I wouldn't be so sharp on the saying, but overall his message is correct. It's a great video. He's bringing the acknowledgement to people and owners, so give him a like and follow. And yeah, thank you guys for watching this video together with me. It was great. I want to continue doing this probably tomorrow because I have a lot of videos to see together with you, but I'm a little bit tired already. It's my first ever stream and I'm talking non-stop for already 2.5 hours. Just need a little bit of rest, so I'll take a break here. Thank you all for coming to this live stream. Appreciate your attention, appreciate your support, and hope to see you guys on the next one. Enjoy your Saturday and All the very best to you. Love from Tom, love from myself. Thank you for support. Goodbye.